like, comment, share, become a subscriber. Y'all see what she don't put up on there. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and talk for a few. Y'all see the debates that's on the board. If you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead and come on up and let me know why you disagree, and we can go ahead and have a good conversation. I hope everybody could hear me. Everybody could hear me, right? Drop a 1 if you could hear me. You could all hear me, right? All right, cool. Just have to make sure I was heard. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody who's gonna be going ahead and join me tonight. Tonight we're gonna have a good conversation. Y'all see the comment on the board, and tonight is a special night because we smoking on that Hogan pack. We smoking on that Hogan pack. Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. All right. You heard him. You heard me, and you heard me first. Fuck Hulk Hogan. Y'all go ahead and come on through. Y'all go ahead and come on through. If you would like to discuss something I have on the board, go ahead and hit that request button. Yeah, that request button is there. So go ahead and come on through. Go ahead and hit that request button. When I die, people are actually gonna really be sad when I pass away. You know why? Because I dedicate my life to being a good person. I don't dedicate my life to hating people of another race. I'm not a douche to other people who don't deserve it. I'm not a bigot. Hulk Hogan was a douche and he was a bigot. Therefore, we're smoking on that Hogan pack tonight. But it's not about me tonight. It's not even about Hogan, even though we could celebrate that later. Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan. Hogan was a terrible person. You want me to feel bad about a racist dying? Why would I be bad about, you know, an honorary grand wizard passing away? Who would be sad about an honorary grand wizard passing away? I'm not. I don't know why you are. But anyway, y'all, if you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. If you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. I appreciate anybody who's going to come on up and anybody who will like to have this discussion with me. I want to have a great discussion. I want to have some debates. We are looking for some debates here, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and have those type of discussions. And you see the comments on the board. America was never great. Being woke is good. And Black Americans are owed reparations. If you do not agree, if you think these are wrong, go ahead and request on up and tell me why. Over on my YouTube, shout out to y'all over on my YouTube. You can go ahead and join the live on the YouTubes that I'm watching. Go ahead and let me know if you're watching. Purge, come on up and we could talk about it because I don't like talking in the comments. All right, I'm going to invite you up. All right, Purge, I'm going to go ahead and invite you up and then we can go ahead and talk about that. All right, we have our first guest finally, Purge 1984. How's it going?
What's up?
I'm all right. Are you over 18 and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
Just the third one. I mean, I can see how America was never great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe back in like right after slavery, that's probably when it was getting great or becoming great.
Yeah, a little bit, but not by much.
Being woke is good. I mean, that's your own personal opinion. I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, to me, being Cajun's good. So, I mean, it's the same concept, you know?
Yeah,
But the
sure.
Black Americans are old. What's I can't see the rest of it. Or old what?
Reparations.
Reparations. And what do you call reparations?
I'll call reparations repairing the community that the government damaged.
Oh, I see at the bottom. Okay, so explain how the government damaged the communities.
Do you know about like redlining and Jim Crow?
Not really, no.
Okay, so redlining was it was a system in which the government gave less loans and actually restricted Black Americans from owning homes in certain areas or having their mortgages like their mortgage rate their mortgage interest rate be twice that of whites, and also didn't allow certain companies or even allow insurance to happen to those places anyway. You see what I'm saying? So there was less investment into Black communities, and they were forced into those communities and made deliberately poor because of that. Because education is ran through taxes, through tax incentives, and and what's that, property taxes, my bad. Taxes were run through property taxes, but Black people didn't own those homes because they weren't allowed to own homes, or they were or banks were discouraged from lending to Black people. And because of
Was
redlining,
this,
which is what we see, like a lot of the problems that we see in the Black community today.
was
That was
this
government policy.
during was this during the times of segregation?
Yes, it was during the segregation, and it went up until it was made officially illegal, I think, in the mid 70s or early 70s. But we still see the effects of it today, and many banks still do those policies, as a matter of fact. Hey, I appreciate breaching the live goal. I appreciate you, Kate. Thank you
I
so
mean,
much.
I understand where you're coming from, but my discrepancy is, you look at people like Will Smith, Tiger Woods, and all of these awesome, real educated African Americans, right? And not even that, you got people that are way high end business people, and they're getting loans, and they're providing for their family
Hmm.
awesomely. I mean, you could even look at I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. The shark funny actor, what's his name? God, I can't believe it.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. He grew
Mhm.
up in the environment that you're displaying as a part of the segregation, right?
Correct.
And he made it like he's the top actor, funniest guy in America right now.
Correct.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but even that doesn't need to put you in a position where you feel defeated. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this question. Do you know who Ray Charles is?
Yeah.
Do you know who Nat King Cole is?
Yep.
Right. So Ray Charles and Nat King Cole were very famous Black people, correct?
Right.
And they were wealthy.
Right.
Was Jim Crow still affecting Black people?
Jim Crow.
Yeah, Ray
Tell me.
Charles became famous during Jim Crow. Nat King Cole became famous during Jim Crow. James Brown became famous during Jim Crow. So they were very famous, very wealthy Black people during those times, right?
Right.
And Jim Crow still affected Black people, right?
Right.
Right. So my point is, just because we have famous and wealthy Black people doesn't mean that the systems that were in place to keep Black people deliberately poor no longer affect them, because history doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Right. I understand. I understand. And but in today's world, I don't believe the system is driven to that.
Um, the thing is though, like I could get that, right, because people don't see that much, but the problem is that uh we when we look at the studies, right, when we look at research into what exactly is going on and what's affecting the upward mobility of Black people, we the only thing that we do see, the only one of the main drivers of that is, still discrimination. Like uh what was that stat that I was going to bring up? It was shown in a study, I think a few years ago, that hiring discrimination hasn't changed since the 1980s.
Well, I can agree to a certain extent because I used to minister in the inner city of Baton Rouge,
Hmm.
and I understand where you're coming from in segregation and in like police brutality and all of the stuff that's going on, and I get it. The thing that I don't get is because I'm a convicted felon, right? I'm considered a quote unquote white male.
Hmm.
I don't look white, I'm brown. I look probably Middle Easternish, right?
Hmm.
So I'm driving a church truck, okay, and I get pulled over because I swerved, and the cop comes out the truck with his guns drawn on me. Now they check it. I got a record, so they looked up my record, right?
Sure.
And that's why they pulled the guns on me. Now, when he got to the truck, he seen the jambalaya in the back and all of this, and he started laughing. You really are, bringing a youth home with jambalaya. He thought I was lying at first, right?
Hmm.
Well, anyway, my point being is even in the inner city,
Hmm.
I know they can be segregation and they can be certain things against you.
Hmm.
But my point being is we as humans can move past that. And the only way to get past that is I don't believe telling everybody you owe me something will enable us to get past that. I think when we persevere, we alternately get past this whole crap that's going on.
Right, correct. I do agree that we can get past all of it, right? The problem that I have though is that when we talk about Black Americans being owed reparations, we're not going up to every individual white person and saying that you owe me. What we're saying is that in this society, Black Americans were affected by, both by the private industry and by the public sector. Right? They were like deliberately made to be poor. Like a lot of the worst neighborhoods that you will hear of in America, I can almost guarantee you that they were red line neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like East Baltimore, Magnolia, New Orleans, East St. Louis,
Well, yeah, we
South Side
have that
Chicago. Right, right. They
in
were
East Baton Rouge
right
too.
in Compton, of course. These were all red line areas, so these were targeted towards African Americans. Right now, I understand that there are white folks who are poor. No one is denying that white people were poor, right? That there are poor whites. Of course, that exists. The difference is that when it comes to Black Americans, they were targeted, deliberately made poor. You know what I'm saying? That didn't happen to white Americans. White Americans are not deliberately made poor. It happened because of other systemic reasons. When it comes to Black Americans, however, they were deliberately made poor. You see what I'm saying? So this is why it needs to be repaired. That's why it's owed. And not only that, we have precedents for this. The Japanese got reparations for what happened to them. So why shouldn't Black Americans?
Right, I agree. I mean, I could see your point, but like I think we should be way past that by now, which maybe we're not.
Yeah, we're not, because like racism is still a thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't know this, but like there's still a lot of racial bias that goes on in hiring, the criminal justice system. Even when you even when you control for things like experience, things for like crime rates, things like that, there are still those racial discrimination problems in the housing market and employment in the criminal justice system, even in education. You know what I mean? Like black boys, they did a study and they showed that teachers would focus and look at black boys more than they would all the other students, right? And even when a black boy was doing the same actions as all the other kids, they still said that the black boy was the one that was misbehaving or the problem child when he was just doing the same exact thing as every other child from every other race. You see what I'm saying? So we know that there's a target on the back of black people already, even from elementary school. You see what I'm saying? So all that needs to get picked. All that needs to get fixed.
Well, I don't think now it's so much. I could see back then, but now you have so much of a variety now. I mean, honestly, I think the Latin based community is being more targeted than the African American community because of all of this stuff that's going on with Trump and his deportation. So,
Yeah, I
I,
mean, yeah, Latinos are targeted as well. No one's saying Latinos are not targeted, of course. Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to like things like immigration. Yeah, Latinos are targeted. We're not denying that. What I am talking about is when it comes to like racial discrimination and systemic discrimination and who that targets the most, it's always going to be black people. As a matter of fact, the number two demographics in America that are targeted for hate crimes are Jews and black people.
I mean, I could see that if you look across America. I mean, the percentage of incarcerations are most predominantly African American.
All right, so we know that there's an issue there, right? So in like crime typically follows poverty, and the group that's in more concentrated poverty, besides the group that's more in concentrated poverty, probably besides Native Americans, are Black Americans. Native Americans are really the only group that's in more concentrated poverty than Black Americans are.
So my question is, do you really think that being given reparations will enable the African American community better?
Highly, yes.
And what was your constance to that?
Say that again.
Like what is your definition to that? Like what would be an example?
An example of that is pure economics, like lifting them out of poverty, essentially, because one out of four or five Black children are still in poverty, right? And poverty affects basically almost everything. It affects your cognitive abilities, it affects your stress levels, it affects your decision making, it affects all of that. So if you lift these group of people out of poverty, then you'll see things like crime and incarceration go down, won't we?
So okay, so you give, let's just say you give them so much amount of money. What's to stop the parents of that household to go like buy weapons or buy drugs or buy whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like
Because
I
like,
understand the need, but how do we address it?
yes, I don't doubt that there's going to be a lot of people who, like, squander their money, right? No one denies that. But when we look at the actual spending habits of Black people, when we like research it and we see their spending habits, we see that it's spent mostly on necessities. You know what I mean? Rent, food, groceries, gas, things like that. That's what Black people are spending their money on. So they know how to spend their money, and Black people know what to spend on. It's just that there's not a lot of disposable income.
I mean, the only way to do it is, I guess, to just do it and see where it goes from there. But you don't want to tip the scale. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
want to. You don't want to keep feeding, and then crime rate rises. You know, and it goes for white people too. Like I'm not just saying it's only African Americans, because we do the same thing. I mean, I know a bunch of people personally
Mhm.
that when we got the stimulants, we just went buy stupid stuff. You know.
Yeah, I mean, when it was looked at into what the stimulus was being spent on, most people spent their stimulus on, necessities. But like $1,600 in a month is not really gonna get you a lot of places, right? So because like for a lot of people, that $1,600 was their rent, so they caught up on rent for a month, and that was essentially it. You know what I mean? So,
Right, but also every time we get a stimulus or increase,
mhm,
right? Depending on that amount, you look at inflation across the board. So every company knows that consumers just got a pay raise.
mhm.
Okay, so their business tactic is to raise prices, and we see that in inflation, right?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say that inflation happens regardless anyway. But even during the entire stimulus check thing, the only reason why inflation went up is because there was a lot of money there was a lot of money going around in the system, right? Like the prices kind of remained the same.
I don't know, man. It went up a lot. Like after COVID, I mean, it went up drastically.
Yeah, the reason why we had like inflation during COVID and stuff like that is more due to supply chains than the stimulus. And not only that, like a lot of the well, I'll give you one thing. I'll give you one thing. The stimulus that we got is not what caused inflation. But when there was like $4 trillion just pumped into the economy out of nowhere that we didn't see, we didn't get any of that. What pushed inflation. Not only that, the supply chain issues, but the stimulus that we got, that's not what really caused inflation. It was just the trillions of dollars that was just pushed into the economy out of thin air, essentially.
Right. All right, man. It was a good talk. I learned a lot. I appreciate you. How you pronounce it? I'm gonna just call you Mr. V.
That's fine. You can come, Mr. V.
All
I
right.
appreciate you.
It was a good talk, man. I learned a lot. I thank you for your time.
Not a problem. Appreciate you.
All right.
Alrighty. All right, W Purge, y'all. All right, y'all. So go ahead and keep on liking the live and keep on sharing. Remember to share this with anybody that's out there, anybody who wants to discuss. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on YouTube right now. I see y'all. Y'all wonderful. Ding dong. You always here in my comments, and I appreciate that, bro. I really, really do. Go ahead and keep sharing this, share it out, see who else wants to talk about it, and we'll see what else we get, y'all. We'll see what how who else will like to come up. I did invite someone else up. Where is that guy? Yeah, uh, Chaotix, whatever your name is, Chaotix. I invited you a long time ago. So go ahead and come on up. If I see you comment again and you just don't want to come up, then I'll go ahead and just mute you from the live because I don't like talking to comments. I like actually having discussions, debates, and conversations. And if you're not here for that, then you're not here for that. All right. All right, y'all. So go ahead and keep sharing this live. Go ahead and keep liking it. Let's go ahead and get those likes up. Try to get me into 3K, y'all. Let's try to get to 3K likes. All right. So we'll go ahead and get this out of, get this promoted. I just see that I got a like on Facebook. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. So tonight we smoking on that Hulk pack. We smoking on that Hogan pack, y'all. I know y'all heard about that. Rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner, of course. Big rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Big rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. Big rest in piss. Big rest in sloppy shit to Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? He's looking up he's looking up at us from hell, y'all. Hulk is looking up at us. But I appreciate everyone who is watching. If you would like to join this conversation, no matter where you are, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, and if you would like to join this conversation, the link to join is in the description. Go ahead and click that little button. Go ahead and click that little link. Say that you would like to join me, and I will bring you on up. All right. It looks like the YouTube one didn't. Look at the Facebook one didn't go through. I'm gonna go ahead and put up the Facebook one now, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put up the Facebook one now because it didn't comment. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Like I said, if you would like to join me, go ahead and come on up. I appreciate anybody who would. Yeah, I did. All right, great. Let me just. All right. For my followers. There we go. All right, cool. Now it's on the Facebook. All right, yo. So if you are on my Facebook, if you're watching from me from Facebook, and you would like to join the conversation because you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead and where it says join the live here, go ahead and click on that link, and you'll be able to join. If you are on YouTube, it is pinned in both my YouTube channels, and you'll be able to join there as well. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me know how everybody's doing tonight. Tahir, I appreciate you being here. W Tahir, y'all. Shout out to Tahir. Shout out to Tahir. And y'all see what this says, right? Oh, let me use my other hand. Y'all see what this says to join the cult. I am growing my cult, so go ahead and join it. It is only $2.99, y'all. Less than a cup of coffee. You spend more on that on Netflix, and Netflix gave us, I don't know, man. It was a sad ending to Squid Game. That was a very sad ending to Squid Game. So, but y'all still go ahead and pay for Netflix every month. Go ahead and send me. Go ahead and join the cult. It's only for $2.99 a month, and we can go ahead and grow. I can grow this channel. I can grow this, and we can go ahead and do more with it. All right, y'all. If I don't get any more guests, if I don't get more guests within like the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick reset so I can try to get into the algorithm, because I think I got restricted before. I got a little restricted before because of what I said about the Hulkamaniac. I got restricted, so they got mad at me. So if I don't see any more in like the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and yeah they restricted me to here. They restricted me. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably do a quick reset. And once I do a quick reset, y'all go ahead and make sure that y'all join again, and then hey, someone else joined the code. Hey, I appreciate that. Phoenix, I appreciate you so much, Phoenix. Thank you for joining the code. Thank you so much for joining the code, Phoenix. All right, y'all. Go ahead and keep pushing this out. Go ahead and keep liking. I'm gonna see if we're gonna get any more guests within the next 5 minutes. Again, if I do not get any more guests within the next 5 minutes, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset, so we can go ahead and get more guests up here and see what we can do. What up, Sahel Knight? How's it going, Sahel Knight? Hey, Michaela. How's it going, Michaela? I see you, Michaela. I see you there. So I'm just right now, Michaela, I'm taking opposition at the moment. Right now, I'm taking opposition, and then once actually I'm gonna do a quick reset. Like in about the next 2 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and do a reset. So we could get more people to come on in. All right. If you are watching over on my YouTube, go ahead and keep the conversation going, okay? Ooh, I know what I forgot to do for my YouTube. I know exactly what I forgot to do. Yeah, hashtags. All right, I need to add that to my YouTube section. Gonna go ahead and add that. Cool. Gonna go ahead and add that. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and officially 28. Hey, happy birthday to Michaela, y'all. Happy birthday to Michaela, y'all. Go ahead and drop those birthday wishes to Michaela. Happy birthday to Michaela, y'all. She is officially the big 2-8. She is getting up there with me with my old man syndrome, y'all. She's getting up there with me. Big 2-8. Shout out to Michaela. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that quick reset. So I'm gonna end the live here, but go ahead and come on back. Yeah, don't do that. All right, y'all. So over on the TikTok, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset, and for my YouTube and my Facebook, y'all gonna still see me going on. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset for my TikTok because this live I think got restricted, so it's not getting pushed out into the algorithm. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and come on back. All right. So everybody here watching me on TikTok, go ahead and come on back in the next few minutes. I'll be right back. All right. All right. All right, y'all. So the live is still going on YouTube and Facebook. So over on YouTube and Facebook, if you are seeing this live right now, and if you disagree with anything I have, then go ahead and come on up. Hit that little link. The link is pinned. The link is pinned. So you can go ahead and click on that link and come on up for anything that you disagree with. Shout out to Patrick, y'all. Shout out to Patrick Lawson in my comment section on my Facebook. Patrick, if you would like to go ahead and share this in any of those any group that you would like, any Facebook group, anything like that, while I start this over again, okay? I might switch up the let me switch this up real quick. Actually, there we go. All right, I'm just switching that up a bit. All right. I appreciate you, Patrick. If anyone wants to come on up, I guess they will. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit this live again. All right. And we are back at it. I'm just go ahead and hit them likes. Hit them likes. Let's go ahead and get that up there, y'all. All right, over on my TikTok. If you're watching me on TikTok, go ahead and start liking the live, start sharing, start liking the live, start sharing. Let me remove this real quick. Cool. All right, y'all. Go ahead and start liking the live and start sharing. Go ahead and start liking the live and start sharing. If you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead and hit that request button and come on up. I would love to have a conversation with you. If you are watching over on my YouTube, go ahead and hit that request button and come on up if you disagree with something I have on the board. If you're watching me on Facebook, same thing. Go ahead and hit that request button. Come on up on the, if you disagree with something I have on the board, go ahead, come on up and we can have a good conversation. All right, y'all. So everyone who's joining right now on my YouTube, go ahead and hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them likes. Let's go ahead and get a good conversation going. I see y'all joining in. I do see y'all joining in. I see people coming in. I do appreciate y'all. I do see y'all coming in, and I do appreciate y'all. So if you disagree with something I have on the board, hit that guest button and let's have that talk. Let's have that discussion. All right, we got people joining in. We got people joining in. We do have people joining in. And tonight is a good night because we smoking on that Hogan pack. Tonight is a good night because we smoking on that Hogan pack. All right, y'all. I know everybody watching me right now does not agree with me. So one of y'all know disagrees with me with something I have on the board. So go ahead and hit that request button. Go ahead and come on up and let's go ahead and let's talk. Let's go ahead and have this debate. Let's go ahead and have this discussion. I love to have these discussions. I love to have these debates. Right now, I have this on the board. Let me see if I could change up the conversation real quick. What's up, Kayla? What's going on? Michaela's back. Go ahead and wish her a happy birthday in the comments, y'all. All right, y'all. So we're going to be discussing two things tonight. We could discuss this or we could discuss this. All right. And every time I discuss this, it makes people every time I discuss this right here, it makes people very, very angry. Makes people very, very upset. They don't like it. Folks don't like when I discuss that, y'all. Folks don't like this conversation here. They don't like none of these conversations. They definitely don't like these conversations. But yeah, y'all, go ahead and keep liking the live, keep sharing. Hey, Phoenix, thank you so much for subscribing. Phoenix, thank you so much for subscribing. You now have access to all the little emojis that I got. Go ahead and drop some of those little stickers in the comments so people could see. So they can know, like, when they join up, what type of emojis and stickers they're going to be getting. I appreciate you joining. Appreciate you subscribing to me. Hey, I appreciate that follow, Forrest. I do appreciate that. Really do. I appreciate that follow. All right. Let's go ahead and bring someone up. Forrest, how's it going?
It's going well. I just want to say I agree with all three of your prompts on the screen on the right side.
Hey, W. Big W to Forrest, y'all. Big W to Forrest. I appreciate you being up here, Forrest. I am taking opposition at the moment. If I don't get any, then I'll bring some more friendlies up. But I do appreciate you. All right, Forrest.
Good work, homie. Keep cooking.
Will do. Appreciate you. All right, Forrest. Please consider subscribing. All right. Zelensky Pie. Is that how you say your name? I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up since you think they meet riding. All right, James, you asked when I'm running the God prompt. It's gonna be next week. This week is my politics week. Next week is gonna be my religion week. James asked for the God prompt. Okay, so this is how I usually do it, y'all. I do politics, then I do religion. I got restricted again. I got restricted again, and I don't know why. I have no idea why I keep getting restricted, y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and appeal that now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and appeal that now because I don't know why I keep getting restricted. I have no idea why. This is so annoying. Appreciate you, James. Appreciate you, James. Yeah, I guess I am. It's because I am too close to the truth, ain't it? Ain't it, Phoenix? But yeah, Phoenix, drop some of those stickers so people can see what they get when they subscribe to me. And again, y'all, if you're watching me over on YouTube and Facebook, I definitely appreciate you. I do see all the views. You guys are wonderful. Go ahead and keep the conversation going as much as you can in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the what I have on the board. Do I have a let me know what y'all think about what I have on the board. I love the stickers that I got, man. I love those stickers. Oh man, I love those. As soon as I get more subscribers and more debates and more people to come up, like y'all gonna be dropping those stickers like crazy. I already know. Oh man. But seems like tonight is a slow night. I don't know what's going on tonight. I don't know what's going on tonight. It seems like it's a snow night. Usually I get way more guests in this. Hey, Max, I don't talk to comments. Go ahead and come on up, please. I'm going to invite you.
What's good, brother?
How's it going, Max? Are you over 18 and do you disagree with something I have on the board?
I agree with a few of them. I don't know, dude. It all depends on how you feel about it. You know what I mean? I mean, being woke, what do you mean by that?
All right, sure. Let's just go ahead and start the clock. All right. So when it comes to being woke, my definition of being woke is the original definition, which is awareness of racial and social injustice. And I think that's a good thing.
I get what you're saying. That ain't even something in my world, though. You know what I mean? So that's not something that I can really have an opinion on. I don't really live in a city like you do, probably. Because, I mean, everybody around me gets along. You know what I mean? It's a melting pot, dude. You know what I mean? Everybody just looks at each other like human beings, I guess. A majority of us are down here where I'm from. But so that I ain't really got an opinion on. But I was just wondering, like, I always hear people talk about how America was never great. But I never hear them name like countries that are better than us, neither. You know what I mean?
Depends on what you.
I mean, I know our healthcare sucks, but I just honestly, dude, I just don't pay my medical bills. What are they gonna do? But so because healthcare sucks, that's just my like F you. I ain't, you know what I mean? But anyway, I know some things suck, but I mean, I never hear people name a country that's better.
I think it all depends on what you on how you define greatness. Like, for example, the way that I define greatness is living up to, or a country being great is living up to its word and expectations, and it's basically its principles. So the principles of America are equality and justice for all, and treating everyone as treating everyone as equal and equal opportunity for all of its citizens, right? It hasn't lived up to those principles, therefore it's not great. Now, there are principles that I of course don't agree with. Now, for example, Third Reich Germany, I'm not going to call that great, even though it lived up to its principles, because its principles were about harming other people and not about uplifting people. You see what I'm saying? Give me a second.
Yeah, I don't know how they were. I mean, I don't know their true culture. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, I mean, so do I, dude. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of it. When people mention Germany, the first thing we think of is Hitler. But I truly wonder what their culture was before he took over as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I think
I get what you're saying.
Right. I think Germans will be able to tell you, or people who are, European scholars, they'll be able to tell you what the culture was like before the mustache man got up there. But basically, that's how I define greatness, right? Like, America has never lived up to those principles, so therefore it has never been great. That doesn't mean that it can't be. It definitely can be in the future. America has definitely shown that it has the ability to do so. It is all the political will. You know what I mean? People had to die for the civil rights to pass. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and the civil rights was a great thing. So America can definitely be great. It's just the will to do so is what's keeping it from actually achieving that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Mhm.
I just feel like it's never gonna be great. It's always gonna be piggybackers, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, in my whole life, dude, all the people that ain't got money like that, they've always been I don't want to say the most. Obviously you dude, you got the junkies and the crackheads and stuff, bro, but you get a little poor community, dude. They're pretty tight, you know what I mean? And a lot of other people are money driven, you know what I mean? And as long as it's like that, dude, it's never gonna be how we want it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree that we need to get to a point where we're viewing each other as Americans again, because like, of course, like
Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant. Thank you for. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no, all good. But yeah, I do think we need to get to that point again, right? Because whenever there's a disaster or something like that happens, if it's in Texas, you'll see people in California laugh at it. If it's in California, you probably see people in Texas laugh at it. Yeah, I mean, we need to start seeing each other as countrymen, as human beings. Again, you feel me? Instead of seeing caricatures. You see what I'm saying? So
Amen, bro.
that's one of the main issues I think is going on with America, the divisiveness, and I'm not sure. Well, I actually do have a suspicion on where it started. Yeah, I mean, it started well, not started, but the reason why we have such division that we have today, I think, originates with Obama, and it's not even Obama's fault. You know what I mean? It's not because of anything that he did. It's just being who he was in that position is what caused all this divisiveness. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. That was kind of a big thing as well. Yeah. I also do feel like it is kind of being pushed in an agenda way, you know what I mean? Between the not even just the just everything going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean. There's definitely a lot of.
I totally get what you're saying because the Obama thing, dude. I mean, I don't think that was just that was an agenda thing. That was just pure voting, and everybody did freak out because he was the first black president, like you said. But yeah, man, sometimes it's absolutely.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did like him as well. You know what I mean? It's just like any presidency, I guess.
Yeah, of course. A lot of people liked him. But
you disgusting fucking faggot nigger monkey, kill yourself, you fucking nigger. See, con.
All right, sure.
Well,
So yeah, that happens all the time to me. Happens all the time.
Yeah, that ain't right, dude. You know that.
For some reason, they just love to go on, these handsome, chocolatey men who for some reason it pisses them off. You know what I'm saying? It makes them so angry.
Dude, I don't know about him, man, but he sounds like you know how it is. Everything he says a mirror, you know?
Yeah, you know how that goes. I know how that goes.
Absolutely, bro.
But yeah, Max. But yeah, that's that's my opinion on it. Seems that we won't disagree on much. Do you have actually? Let me do this.
I mean, I do have questions on the reparations thing because I don't really, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just being honest with you, bro. Because I mean, I feel like you're pretty down to earth, dude. I am too, man. You know, that's how we become neighbors again. But I just don't understand how it happened so long ago. And like, honestly, dude, you look like you're doing a little better than me as well. And I'm not saying that in a demeaning way. You probably worked hard for where you're at, and you got there as well. And I work hard as well, but. I'm just saying it's all kind of how hard you work as well.
Yeah, gotcha. When it comes to
where that comes in at.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. When it comes to reparations, what we the reason why we advocate for that, right, is because the government and the private sector was, of course, they deliberately targeted Black Americans in order to make them poor deliberately, and of course they damaged.
Dude, I get it.
Yeah, and they damaged the community. So because of that, we advocate for them to actually repair that, and that's what reparations means. It just means to repair.
Yeah, well, they injected. They did a lot of more horrible stuff than that, dude. I forget the name of the guy, bro, but they told him he was doing like some sort of. They were injecting him with something, dude. It was something that was basically harmless, dude, but it ended up being polio, and they were doing it in small doses, and it's messed up, you know what I mean? Anyway, So I do agree with you on that. I just feel like at that point, a lot of us should be it. Not only you guys, but so Native Americans, which they kind of got land, but still, you know, I mean, a lot of messed up stuff happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Native Americans should also get land back and reparations. I'm not sure how land back works. You have to talk to a Native American about that, how that will work, because I'm really don't know. But I think they should as well, because like a lot of folks don't actually know that Native Americans, most of them got screwed. Yeah, sure, there's a lot, you know, there's the stereotype of the casino or whatever, but majority of them, they're not living in casinos. They're living in pretty harsh conditions, you know.
Well, granted, I mean, I knew a guy who used to, he was a pretty bad dude, and he got into the reservation. He used to talk to, anyway, this is off topic, so if you don't want me to tell a story, that's fine. But, I mean, he told me that he talked to a Native American girl, or else he wouldn't be able to get, like, you got to know somebody or be really cool with somebody, and you got to get cool with the chief. So he brought a bunch of Hennessy, man, because he was a dope boy back in the day. He sold a lot of dope and stuff. But he came to work with me for a little bit. I was an electrician at the time. And anyway, man, he said he had to do all that to get in there. And they really like alcohol, and like he ended up bringing them meth and stuff. So, I mean, a lot of them do make, like any neighborhood, dude. Sometimes you got meth head neighborhoods. Sometimes you got good ones. You know how life is, man.
Yeah, I know how that go.
All the same in different colors.
Yeah, exactly. I know how that go. But yeah, so that's really why we advocate for that, because like it's old. These
would you guys just be for taking out the government too?
Taking out the government?
Not taking them out, but you know what I mean. Smaller government, less more power to the people. You know what I mean? Less you get what I'm getting at here. You're kind of reading what I'm putting out.
Yeah, I kind of read what you're putting out. I'm more I lean more towards like anarchism, communism, really. Yeah, I mean, now I'm pragmatic. I understand that we just can't get rid of the state. Yeah, I mean, but if we're able to get rid of the state as much as possible, then yeah, I would. I don't think the way that the state operates, at least in our modern sense, is something that I think has uniquely damaged humanity. You see what I mean? Like, for a while, it seems that civilization needed it, but I think humanity can get to the point where we're past the need of the state. Yeah, I mean, now a government is always going to exist for the foreseeable future. Like, I won't see, anarcho-communism come to fruition, but probably like my grandkids times 3 will probably see it, because I think we could get to the point where we don't need a government anymore.
Dude, I don't know, bro. Listen now. I've always been a little on the edge about communism, but I'm not very familiar with that kind. I don't look into socialism and communism and stuff. I more look into I got different hobbies. You know what I mean? I just don't get into all that stuff.
Yeah, of course. I understand this. Yeah, exactly. These things are not easy to explain. They're very, very complicated. You know what I mean? Even for myself, I kind of agree with anarcho-communism. It's hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't fault anybody for not really knowing what I'm talking about. But
yeah, it sounds a little chaotic though, anarchy and communism. Because I've always played, you know what I mean? I play Call of Duty and stuff, dude. So I've always heard of communism as the more terrorist countries and stuff, and that's just what comes to mind, being like ignorant on that.
Yeah, of course, like Stalin and Lenin and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, Stalin and Lenin and Mao, they believed in like the state controlling things in order for all people to benefit from that, right? And there are people who believe in what Marx was calling for, which was a completely stateless society where there are no governments, where everything is owned in common and stuff like that, which is a little bit more harder to picture. You see what I'm saying? So there's different like branches of communism. Give me a moment though, because Michaela wanted to speak more about the reparations thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Michaela. You said you want to talk more about reparations, right?
Yes. Hey, Max. I'm like, you may not know. So I'm like, I want to speak more to some of the reparations things, because although Volsi and I are Black, Volsi doesn't have direct lineage specific experience to the Black America reparations because he's Haitian. I'm Black American. So I wanted to talk about because you had made a comment about it was long ago. So that depends on what you're talking about regarding Black Americans. Are you talking about slavery? Because reparations is not just about enslavement. You do realize that, right?
No, that's what I thought it was mainly focused on.
So it's a part of it, but it's not the only thing. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused is reparations is not just about enslavement, it's also about everything that happened post-slavery. So I don't know how great your the public schools or your education was. I don't want to speak to that, but in America, when when enslavement ended, there were things that were put in place called black clothes and a little thing called Jim Crow. And I'm like was enacted. Jim Crow was essentially the segregation laws of the South in the United States. Okay.
Yeah,
When that
yeah, I know.
happened, okay, when that happened, black Americans were disenfranchised. Significantly. One of the ways in how they did that was instilling things like black codes. They purposely underfunded black schools during the segregation period. So the quality of books that they had, etc., differed from that of white children. Specifically, their education books, etc. Also, there was things like redlining that happened after, and redlining is essentially something that happened in history where after I think even after Jim Crow was abolished, um, with the 1960s Civil Rights Act, um, what they did was they instilled redlining, and redlining essentially is why hoods exist, right? It was intentional to disenfranchise Black Americans. Um, they they specifically made it where Black people could not obtain property in certain areas and could not achieve upper. So it's also with that, it's also about police brutality. It's also about um hair discrimination. I'm like, it's about the entire right experience that African Americans have experienced in this particular country. So it's not just slavery, it's slavery and everything else that happened after.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I feel like a lot of people who experience that are either very, 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 very old or passed away, and I feel like we've moved
No, I'm
past all
like,
that.
no, because Ruby Bridges is still living. The Jim Crow era ended in 1960, and because of those things, the wealth gap between Black American families and white American families are completely there is an imbalance, and it's not because of Black Americans' work ethic. It's literally because Black Americans were prevented from achieving upper mobility. So
I
there's
agree. At first, I do agree. I do agree because I do know, like when they first started singing and stuff. I mean, you can obviously tell the people's faces when they've seen who they thought were white singing were obviously black, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" But I mean, that's and my grandfather. He was also like, I didn't see my first black person till I was in fourth grade, and I was like, "Oh my
yeah,
goodness!" So I
because
mean, they
Jim
were a
Crow
little
was he
amazed.
was probably living through Jim Crow.
It's just part of integrating. I mean, I mean, my grandpa was on the. I mean, and I'm not saying this, and no, don't think I'm trying to say this in no type of way, but I mean, he was poor, dude. He was out playing with. He had to. They were like on the farm. He was picking cotton and doing the corn and everything for.
I'm like,
I used to come.
but here's the thing: when we're having this conversation, we're not saying that there are not white families that have experienced classism and stuff like that. That's not the
No, I get
conversation.
it.
Well, Yeah, I don't want that to be misconstrued. What we're specifically talking about is repairing what was damaged, specifically in the Black community, the Black American community specifically, because this is racial based, but it's also lineage based, and that's another thing that a lot of non-Black people in particular don't understand. So, example, hey, Vosi, right here, right on the screen, right, the host, he is Haitian.
Yeah.
Volsi would not be entitled to a Black American reparations claim because he does not have lineage tied to chattel slavery in America, right? So he does not. So his family didn't go through redlining. His family didn't go through Jim Crow. His
So
family doesn't
only
have the
people.
lineage-based experience that African Americans do.
So,
in this
Michaela,
country.
let me ask you this. So you're saying only people with certain last names should get reparations, like people with.
It's not just last names; it's about lineage.
How would they?
That's
How
the
would they
thing.
figure
So it's
lineage out?
about people who are descendants of enslaved people and also Black American freedmen. So Black people whose families were here pre 1870, right, would be entitled to this claim.
But how
Only
do they
Black
figure that
people
out,
who
though?
have that. So someone like Volsi, whose family, let's say, I'm not saying like this is your case, Volsi, but I'm just putting it out there. So let's say Volsi's family immigrated here in 1990. Okay, he would not be he and his parents nor his children, unless Volsi's children's mother is a Black American woman. They would not be entitled to reparations because Volsi does not have ties to that specific experience. So it's not just about last names; it's about lineage.
Right. Like let me give you for example, guys. Well, I want to say two things. Number one, when you say like these things like it seems like we got past that. We really didn't, because as Michaela brought up, Rudy Bridges is only 70 years old. She's still alive. You see what I'm saying? And she was the first girl to desegregate an elementary school.
Not even just girl, Black child.
Black child, yeah.
To integrate school. And I also want to point this out. Black Americans are still experiencing discrimination. We're discriminated for our hair texture. We're discriminated in workplace and employment. Black women are unalive at astronomical rates from childbirth due to the history of actually enslavement in this country. There's this thing called medical racism, and because of that, Black women and children are at an exponential risk of dying during childbirth. Unaliving, and Black people in general experience health disparities due to this medical racism. Also, when we're talking about credit, right? Black people, it is harder for Black people to build credit because because of racism and credit. And fun fact, credit was actually created when Jim Crow was abolished to also prevent Black Americans from achieving upper mobility. So it's not just this did not just end in the 1960s. Black people are still experiencing discrimination. And I feel like that's what a lot of white and non-Black people do not understand, is just because people are not riding down the street in white hoods and at least in the open, because it's still happening.
Yeah, at least in the open.
Lynching. Strange fruiting. People from trees in the are things like that are happening in the open, at least. That Black people are not still experiencing discrimination. Black people are still experiencing discrimination.
Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna bring that up as well. Like, there are things that are still, like, for example, we bought up redlining before, right? On paper, redlining is supposed to be illegal, right? But we still see that banks and insurance companies, they still redline in certain ways. Like, for example, even like as a on average, a Black person that has the same family structure, the same type of income, even the same credit and income to debt ratio as a white applicant, the Black applicant they'll either get denied for a mortgage at a higher rate, or they'll get a higher interest rate based on nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like just the skin color changes your interest rate. And that doesn't only just happen in housing, even happens in the auto industry, where black drivers are charged like higher interest rates than white drivers. That happened for a while. These things are all illegal on paper, right? But we still see like they still happen. I think Navy Federal was sued for that, I think just last year. In the year before that, Bank of America was sued for that.
Wells Fargo.
And Wells Fargo. They're all being they every single year there's always another lawsuit of a bank, you know, discriminating against black homeowners and black auto owners. You see what I'm saying? For higher interest rates, or completely denying them their loans, or not promoting their black employees when they deserve it. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these things are still happening under the surface, and that's what we bring up to repair. Go ahead,
Also,
Mikhail.
fun fact, I'm like, speaking of Wells Fargo and their racism, because I would be remiss not to bring this up. Max, do you know that I'm like, because this is a little historical fact. Do you know that Wells Fargo was involved in the slave trade, specifically of Black Americans?
I do not, but
Oh yeah, that's not even disputable.
Now
That's
that you say that little wagon with the horse, I mean that shit. That always gave me a creepy vibe, and I got rid of it.
It always gave me a creepy vibe. No, I get it now. I get it now. It was like, this seems strange, bro. I don't know.
It's basically human
trafficking. I'm like, do you want to know why they had that as the logo? Because slave catchers.
Yeah,
literally.
That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy. I just had an epiphany. I think that's what you call it. So that was basically human trafficking back in the day, and now they still do it just low key, but with kids. That's crazy, bro. Crazy. We gotta stop this shit.
I'm sorry, y'all. Can y'all pause for me real quickly? Boss man, we smoking on that Hulk Hogan pack tonight. All right. We ain't worried about no Hulk Hogan. Fuck Hulk Hogan. All right, he can rest in piss for all I care. We smoking on that Hulk Hogan pack tonight.
I'm like, right? It's so funny because I literally did not know that he had unalived until like today, like early this afternoon, because one of my mutuals had told me, and I'm like, mind you, I didn't even know all the stuff he was doing because I didn't follow, because I don't follow like sports like that. I'm too much of a girly girl for that. The only time I watch sports is the Super Bowl. Okay? When Rihanna's performing or something. Okay.
Yeah, but like once I found out that Hulk didn't like us, you know what I'm saying? It's been fuck Hulk Hogan forever. Like I am not
I didn't even know. That's the funny thing.
Yeah,
like,
I do not like us.
Hey, I don't think Hulk didn't like y'all, man. I gotta give my boy Hulk. You know, I grew up watching him, man. I know,
but I grew up watching them too, but too many N-words, too many.
I grew up watching the Cosby
I think he got saved last year. I think he got saved last year, bro. So hey, hopefully he was a new man. He got born again, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
I can't.
I grew up watching the Cosby Show. It still fuck Bill Cosby
all day.
Yeah, I was Everybody Hates Chris, man. That was my show.
Oh yeah, you so you grew up afterwards.
I watched Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? It was one of the
man, I'm 29.
one of the last black sitcoms.
Oh, you're 29. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah.
Oh
so,
man, I love Terry Crews.
That's
me today, bro.
Don't
That's
you
me
say
today.
a damn thing. I'm forever 21, and
yeah.
no one tell me anything.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've been 21 for about 10 years now. All right, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, man. My body just keeps telling me, man. I don't know.
All good.
I don't care what my body says. I still got making these. Damn it.
I still got making these. All right, y'all. What time is it right now? It's about to hit 9:30. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end. I might end the live in a few moments because I'm just not getting any guests right now. I'm live on Facebook and on two YouTubes, and the guests are just not coming up. So I guess I have to do this another time.
I'll see you guys later, man. I'm gonna head inside.
No, I think
not a problem, Max. I appreciate you.
You were shadow banned,
yes, sir. You too, man.
I think that may be like because they love the shadow ban black creators. So do you think you were like shadow banned?
I could have been. Right now, what's going on is that I'm using TikTok Live Studio to share my computer screen over on StreamYard. You know what I mean? Which is how I'm doing all this at the same time. and like they did like send a what they sent me. They sent me like a restriction because of unoriginal content. I had to appeal that while you and Max were talking, and they did appeal it. So now I'm just like, what's going on now? Okay, someone came up and dropped.
Unoriginal. We're not copywriting. We
Yeah,
say this
exactly.
all the time.
They think that me displaying the other screen is unoriginal content. The appeal did get
Oh, okay.
yeah, the appeal did go through. They appealed it, but sometimes yeah, I just like to hear this. Some nights are just slower than others.
Well, Max had common sense. So
Yeah, Max
that
had some
wasn't-
sense. Yeah. Max, I like guests
I'm
like
like-
that who just don't know and are actually asking instead of
They're not actually asking like valid questions. Because
Mm.
here's the thing, like, I'm like, I think he had said that he was from a small town and
Mhm.
stuff. So I'm like, so I'm
lot of them
not
don't know.
expecting someone.
Mhm.
So I'm like, so I'm not expecting someone who doesn't have direct experience with it. Because here's the thing, right? Like, we both are racially phenotypically Black people.
Mhm.
So we go through the world, right? We go through the country in the same way. But I'm like, but Black Americans, I feel like specifically, because of the history that we have to this country, I think like we have a very different relationship to the country versus like someone who is just first gen or
Mhm.
second gen, because of the history that we have went through, and we have a very specific lived experience.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
when you have family like who went through the things that we were talking about, like redlining, Jim Crow, etc. I feel like that is not something that can be duplicated.
No, it's not. It really isn't. That can't be duplicated. Like I always like to talk to older or elder Black American people and get their
Mhm.
thoughts on what was happening back then, because you know you can never experience that, which is one of the reasons why I love speaking to my grandmother and older Haitians too, because a lot of old Haitians, they were around when America had was occupying Haiti, right? There are people who were teenagers.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yes.
there are folks who were teenagers back
I-
then, and I like talking to them to see like their experience on like
Yeah,
what
because
exactly
I
happened.
talked to my grandma about mind you, I had just called my grandma to check up on her because, like, side note, this is not a sad thing for me, but I'm like, I still checked up on her because I didn't have a great relationship with the man.
Mhm.
But I found out my biological father had unalived like the other night, 2 nights ago. So I didn't have a great relationship with the man. So it's not like but I still wanted to check up on my grandma
Yeah.
and some of my cousins because they did. So yeah, so that's something I've been like,
Yeah, I'm still sorry to hear about that.
navigating.
That sucks. Yeah, I'm still sorry to hear about your dad. That does suck. But when it comes to yeah, exactly. When you speak to like the older generation, they saw things and been through things that we'll never imagine. You know what I mean?
I'm like, but yeah, because my grandma was born in 1940s Tennessee.
Mhm.
I believe her great grandmother was an enslaved woman born on a Tennessee plantation.
Wow.
So not only do I have like the lineage based experience, but I have living family members, but I also have like actual living testimony on some of the things that were like, if we were to go, like if I were to go to Memphis with like my grandma
Mhm.
and some of my aunties, they could actually tell you where the colored water fountains used to be. And you know this, but for those of you who don't know, before before Black Americans have had many racial names. We've been called Negro. One of the names that we were called in during the Jim Crow era were also color. Do not call a Black person if you're not
Don't
from
use
South,
that.
if they not from South Africa, do not use that word.
Don't use that
like
word.
it's
Yeah.
actually a slur.
Don't use that. Yeah. Don't do that. All right.
Unless
Yeah.
that person is from South Africa and asks you to call them that, do not call them that.
Yeah, and not only that,
It is a
they got to
slur.
be from South Africa and mixed race. All right, because that's the ones who are considered the coloreds over there. But over here, you're Black.
But even that, I've heard like it's also technically an ethnic group. So even like so even then, like Trevor Noah wouldn't be considered colored because his mother is
A Black South African.
Hosa. and didn't grow up in a colored community. So it's not just that, but also as ethnicity. And I've heard so I've gotten like mixed reviews on that, because I have heard like it's ethnicity and they don't consider like a direct racial classification, although it was considered that during apartheid. And then but someone like Trevor Noah, for example, who did not grow up but grew up in a Hosa household, might be considered a Black person in certain contexts. So I've gotten like mixed reviews on that.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. But yeah.
Regardless, unless they're from South Africa, do not use that word.
Yeah,
do not use that word.
Don't do that, y'all.
And
That's not a good idea.
I just say if they're from South and they ask you to say that, and say, I will do it. But but anyone who is from America, do not use that word.
Don't use it. Yeah, but like
I actually think it's a slur in the UK too. So I pretty much think
it's a slur in the UK.
So it's So I think that applies to just about the entire Western world.
Yeah, just honest. About. Yeah. What I was gonna say, my dad told me that my grandfather, right? My granddad was born in 1915, and my grandmother was born in 1920. The United States invaded Haiti in 1933 or 34. So they actually saw it. And my dad told me that my granddad was actually part of the Congo Wars over there, like the rebellions to get the Americans out. And the stories that my dad said that my granddad told him is like Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually what it was called back then. It was called Black Vietnam.
Like, I actually feel like one of the only Black groups that have that typical warrior spirit outside of is probably Haitian.
Yeah.
Like Haitians, like Black Americans, we do not play.
Yeah, we playing that shit, man.
When the ICE had the nerve and the audacity to go through New York and try to, I said, oh, so you saw the people whose ancestors literally rebelled
against slavery. Then you're gonna go into that neighborhood. You're gonna fail, bro. It's not gonna work. Okay, yeah.
That was gonna go well.
That's not gonna go well. Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna go well at all.
I'm like, just like Black Americans, they do not play.
Yeah, they playing that. They ain't playing that. Which is why, like, every single time, like, I would argue with like white conservatives on Facebook talking about, we're gonna send these and that people to Chicago. I'm like, no, y'all not, bro. Y'all not gonna go to a city full of Black folks and try to do that. Y'all gonna get your ass whooped. That's not
Black folks founded by Haitians.
That's not gonna happen, y'all. You're gonna get whooped. All right. That's not gonna happen. I'm
like, and a bunch of Black Americans and Haitian. Oh, girl,
it's gonna. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened in Atlanta during the George Floyd protests. We saw what happened in Atlanta.
They got dragged.
What got dragged? It's not happening.
Dragged to hell. Y'all really I'm like, when are y'all go? Like, let me tell you, Black Americans and I feel like Haitians are the ones that they actually have a. I'm not even trying to be funny, but like,
yeah,
some of the other people that like y'all, I'm not even trying to be funny and try to play y'all, but y'all be like
some of y'all
come guzzling y'all oppressors like the Jamaicans. Okay, y'all be loving y'all queens, especially them elders, honey. Black Americans don't do that shit, and neither do Haitians.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Give me a second, Michaela. Y Meth. That is a crazy name. But yeah, Y Meth, go ahead and come on up and we can go ahead and talk about that. I'm trying to invite you, but for some reason you can't be invited. So go ahead and come on up and we can go ahead and talk about that. But your name is crazy, bro. Y Meth.
Y Meth. Let me just tell you something. That name is a read in itself. If you try anything, I want you to know that you're walking into a
yeah.
All right. Give me a second, Y Math. All right, so hold on, Math. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, so I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you for a few minutes, and then Michaela's gonna talk to you. Make sure to keep it cute, or else you could get dragged. All right. So Y Math, are you over 18, and why do you disagree that Black Americans are not owed reparations?
All right, so yes, I'm over 18. I was
Okay,
born
what's your
January
age?
2007.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
19.
you're good. Yeah. He's like 21 something.
Yeah, around that. All right. So meth.
I said 2007. I ain't 21.
Yeah, I said around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the math exactly in my head right now.
Yeah. You're around that age. That's fine. Okay. So meth. Why do you disagree that Black Americans are owed reparations?
So I'm gonna keep it straight.
Mhm.
Like, yes, slavery was terrible, but like, it happened so long ago, and I think the mindset of we're owed reparations or stuff like that is, I think, is what's keeping
Why,
the
Miss? Do you
Black
see?
community. Can I talk?
Mhm.
So I think
I'm a mod,
that
so I can interject anytime. So.
no, I'm not gonna be interrupted. I'll leave.
Nah,
Excuse me.
don't leave. Stay. Why meth?
Please
Jay,
stay.
give me a second. Jay. All right. So why meth? You can stay. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna talk to you for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then Michaela's gonna talk to you. Okay. So meth. Here's what I wanted to say. When you talk about spiritually, go ahead and mute yourself real quick. All right. So meth. Here's the thing. When it comes to reparations, right? Reparations, it does include slavery, but it's not only for slavery. It's for things like Jim Crow, redlining, the war on drugs, et cetera, et cetera. These are things that were targeted towards Black Americans in order to make them deliberately poor and deliberately uneducated, deliberately just negative things towards them. Like it was targeted towards them by the government and by private interest groups, and we see a lot of the effects of it still lasting for us to this day. So the government was involved in damaging the Black American community. Why do you think they shouldn't fix that?
Also, just to point this out, Black Americans, after enslavement was abolished in the United States, at least on paper, somewhat, because
Speaking of the
Jews,
13th Amendment.
because it wasn't, they didn't follow through exactly. The Black Americans were promised land, 50 acres, and a mule. And Black Americans were not given those things. But you know who did receive reparations? The enslavers for losing their property, i.e., African American slaves. So again, so so the white people who literally owned Black people are still literally benefiting from being paid by the government for losing their property, i.e. Black people.
I have something to say about that.
Yeah, spiritually, I'm gonna get to you next. It's Y Meth's turn first. Jay, I know you're friendly. You're on my side. I do. I'm gonna go ahead and get you into the conversation. Just give me a few minutes, all right, Jay?
Black American, I am.
Yeah, well, I'm not Black American. Michaela is. All right. So, Jay, I'm gonna let you go. Just give me a few moments. All right, Jay. I know you want to get on the conversation. All right. So, Meth. Just to get your response. Do you understand everything that we said, and why do you still disagree, and why do you?
Yeah. So I understand everything you said, and I do understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, I think that this mentality of we're owed something from the white people, I think that mentality is, I personally, in my day-to-day experience, I think that is what's separating Black Americans from white Americans. I don't think it's the white Americans as much.
Supremacy are doing
she just keeps cutting me off.
No, you
Why should I even?
I got you, Meth. Go ahead. Let him finish, Michaela. Let's go ahead and let him finish his whole thought. But go ahead and land for me, Meth. Go ahead and finish your whole thought. Then I'll respond, and then I think Jay wanted to say something, and Michaela's definitely going to respond. But go ahead and finish your whole thought.
Right. So I think that a large reason why a lot of Black America, unfortunately, is still living in poverty is because they live with this mindset of we're owed something and someone's going to get us out of here. We're not going to get ourselves out of here. Someone's going to get us out of here instead of get yourself out of there. Right. My family came to America like 3 generations ago. I'm Jewish. My great grandparents, they lived in Germany. They were super, super wealthy. My great grandfather owned a business. Like they were like
gives a fuck
really,
about
really
that
wealthy.
shit. Land the plane.
Okay, so
and then they had to.
Gotcha. All right, so Meth, give me a second, Meth. All right, so we understand that you're
making a point. I was making a point.
Right.
How did you center the conversation about
you
around here?
have no point.
Right. So
I was making a point, but you didn't let me finish. You guys
hold on, everybody pause. Everybody
didn't
pause.
interrupt you.
Everybody pause. Everybody pause. Everybody pause. All right. So Meth, the reason why you were interrupted is because you're doing the thing where you tell your whole life history, and we really don't have time for that. Just to, I'm not trying to be insulting, but we all know the immigration story.
Just make-
My parents. Hold on. Give me a second, Meth. My parents are immigrants, so I get the whole immigration story, right? Here's the issue. When you said that what separates Black Americans from white Americans, that Black Americans feel that they're entitled to something. Two problems.
That's white
Number one,
supremacy.
yeah. Actually, yeah, three problems. What Michaela just said. Number one, that's a white supremacist talking point. And I know why you don't see it that way, because you just weren't educated in that way, and it's not your fault that you weren't educated in that way. But
Because
we're
it goes
gonna
into the idea that Black Americans are lazy and don't work hard enough, and they don't
Exactly.
pick themselves up out of bush, and that's not true.
But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
White
So
supremacy.
hold on. So Meth, hold on. Listen. So number one,
then
the
why
thought,
are they still
Meth, hold on. So number one, the thought that that Black Americans are poor because they feel that they're owed something is BS and a white supremacist talking point. That's number one. But number
Can you
two,
explain
the
why?
reason why,
Wait,
because
can you
they
explain why?
because it's just untrue. That's why Black Americans are not poor.
Give me a reason.
I'm giving you the reason.
Why, Meth?
Be quiet for a second. All right. So the reason why Black Americans are poor have largely to do with systemic reasons, not simply because they feel that they're owed something and they're going to stay in the projects. Otherwise, HBCUs
Like
would
what?
not. Hold on, Meth. Hold on.
he's supposed to be
Hold on.
listening. He's
Why,
You're
You're
Meth?
supposed to be
making claims
listening.
that aren't true.
All right, Meth, I'm going to need you to be
I was
quiet. If you.
I was
All
the
right.
one that was cut off first.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and do
listened.
this. We're going to go ahead and do this. Do not come on off mute again. So when
Ahmad is speaking, or when both of you come off mute.
yes, when Ahmad is speaking, when a host is speaking, you do not come off mute. Okay. See you.
Don't run now.
So
Oh, don't run.
all right. So
Come back.
yeah, he left.
Like,
All right.
and
So
I'm
JT,
also
come on
gonna
up.
bring up because he saw he ate by bringing up that he was Jew, because white Jewish people love to do that, but refuse to acknowledge, because this is the part that's killing me. The Holocaust, the blueprint for the Holocaust was Jim Crow.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So the reason that you went, so your family went through the Holocaust and were being put in ovens, is because Black people were being strange fruited in America.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what laid the blueprint for your family's oppression, sir.
All right. Hey, sorry I didn't get you in on that, Jay. I did want you to speak. I just wanted to answer his old talking point first. But I definitely gonna get you on the next one. All right, Jay. Just give me 1 second. All good. All right, Bobby. Bobby, are you over 18 and do you disagree with something I have on the board? You there, Bobby? Hey, Bobby, we hear you typing, bro. Go ahead and just respond, please. JT, I already had invited you up. If you would like to come up, go ahead and come on up. Hey, Bobby, are you gonna come off mute or do I have to drop you?
Wait, Bobby, I know you did not just say that Black people were not more oppressed than white people during the Jim Crow period? I will cuss you out.
Yeah. For real. Hey, Bobby, you have to explain that comment.
You the fuck out. I promise you, I'm gonna cuss you out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that comment, Bobby.
Cause I bet that better not be what you meant. I'm gonna give you a chance to say what you meant, because I'm about to get really offended.
Yeah. Bobby, we hear you typing, bro. Just say something.
Yeah, I'm about to speak. I'm gonna drop
the fuck out of here.
Bitch.
The fuck out of here. That just come up here to type. The fuck out of here. All right, bro. Go ahead and get off my live.
You about to be blocked. You about to be muted for the entire live. Bye, nigga. Bye.
Bye, Bobby.
Cause you got me fucked up. Because I know goddamn well he did not just say that white people were more oppressed than Black people during the
Jim Crow era. Christ. Oh my goodness.
Insane.
Oh my goodness. Hey Jay, I promise we're gonna get you in on the conversation as well. All right. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm doing all right, brother. I'm eating anyway, so I'm just waiting for somebody to tussle with.
Gotcha.
I'm listening to y'all.
Gotcha, for sure.
Jay, what did you want to say?
Yeah, you can go ahead and say it, bro. You can go ahead because I'm about to end in about 5 minutes. So go ahead and say what you want to say. Definitely come on Saturday because I'm gonna run this live again on Saturday. So definitely come by by then again, and we could definitely find you someone to tussle with then. All right, but go ahead and say what you want to say, brother.
No, I just wanted to. I usually like to attack their form of logic. If any white people want to come up, because I want to ask them, are they proud of their ancestors? I would love to hear that. Are you proud of your ancestors? Because if you're not proud of your ancestors, then why are you behaving like
why?
Them? Why are you behaving like them?
Why aren't you proud? Did they do something not to be proud of?
Yeah, exactly. Did they do something not to be proud of? Yeah.
Because the thing is this: if you feel like you're not your ancestors, if you feel like that the white community as a collective has progressed as you may claim that you have, why are you still holding on to policies and procedures? Why are you still holding on to the Constitution? And then the simple fact is, why are you have the mindset of thinking that we don't deserve anything? I'm just curious.
And you know something interesting about that, Jay, is sadly we're gonna get a lot of people who say that they were. You know what I mean? Like, look what Trump said, I think about 2-3 years ago, when he said our ancestors tamed a continent. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are very, very proud of being settlers and being genocidal maniacs. It's crazy.
But you want to know what the funny thing is? Like, about all that, even Trump himself has acknowledged enslavement of Black Americans, which is something that because in order to, because the whole conversation around the 14th Amendment, right, and what it was for, right, as it pertains to like the conversations around immigration, and all of those things, and he's saying it's for the children of the enslaved, right? To order for it to be before the children of the enslaved, there has to be people who were being enslaved here to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump has had literally during Black History Month, had a whole thing for Black History Month, like having a whole celebrating Black American history and the White House. Now, let me be clear. I am not a Trump stan. Let's be clear. I'm not no Trump supporter. I'm not Black MAGA. Okay. I'm not none of that. Right. But let's be clear. Even with white supremacists as Trump, the literal orange man, he has literally acknowledged Black Americans and Black American contributions from the White House floor.
Yes,
I just want to say that if white people were so superior, if you feel as though that you are if you feel as though that you are what you say you are, why do you need a system to prop you up?
I've said that many a time.
I just think you would do this.
If you're naturally superior and Black people are naturally inferior, then you don't need a system, because Black people find themselves naturally on the bottom. The fact that you need a system means that you're not naturally superior.
Yeah,
you're not. Because what's understood don't have to be said.
What's understood doesn't have to be said. No, facts. If you really were superior, you wouldn't need a system. You wouldn't need to go around colonizing everybody and oppressing everybody. Jim Crow wouldn't need to be a thing. None of that would need to exist if you were actually superior. Yeah, I mean,
First of all, there wouldn't be a Black diaspora to begin with.
Exactly. We'll all still be over there. Yeah, I mean, we'll all be with our titties out, you know what I mean, enjoying Mama Africa, where everything grows out the ground, which is why.
Oh my God. I just imagine me with my breast out.
Exactly. We will all still be with our cousins over there. You know what I mean? We'll also be over there living in a Marxian society. A lot of people don't know this, but what Karl Marx said society should be, Africans were already doing. It was colonialism that interrupted a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, pre-colonial African society were largely anarchist and communal. You know what I'm saying? So we already had the blueprint for society before Europeans even came up with socialism and capitalism. Africans was doing it.
Black people were building civilizations while white people were still in caves. So the fact that you think that you're naturally superior to anybody,
it's kind of crazy. What you was gonna say, Jay?
We can even go to just 400, just the 400, 500 years. I don't know if these white people know about their own history. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys didn't have resources. You had to actually go venture out and find the things that you need because you guys were starving each other. Also, the British were starving their own people in Ireland before we even met you. If you start from the first century up until the 21st, you all been fighting each other. So, yeah, so you have to study your own history.
Yeah, I got you. That's a good point, Jay. That's a really good point because a lot of people would say, like, look at Africa with all the tribal wars and all the oppression and stuff like that going on, and you have to point out to them that Europe has went through that for thousands of years. You know what I mean? Before,
yeah, sure have.
Yeah, before they were able to unite under the ideology of being superior to everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Africa never had that type of.
But here is the thing: the reason that of tribalism exists in Africa, and even in Europe, was because race was not a thing. People did not
they invented it.
It was a categorization that was invented, and so people were not. So, example, let's say Vosi was Yoruba and I'm Igbo. Despite us both being Nigerian and both looking the same, right? Let's say we have the same characteristics phenotypically. That is not our defining factors, right? Our defining factors would be our language, our tribes, as well as our religion. That is historically what people were tribal about.
Yeah, exactly.
It was not racial.
Yeah, it was never racial, and we see the same thing happening over in East Asia. Something happened in Europe. You know, I mean, the only difference is that because of enslavement, there was a large brain drain from the continent. There was a large labor drain from the continent, and a lot of folks don't know that enslavement from Europeans to Africans did happen on the continent. You know what I mean? There were a bunch of rebellions that happened, like over in Kenya, I think the Moi Moi rebellion against the British Empire. A lot of that was happening. You feel me? There's a lot more complex history than what the American school system was to teach.
But funny enough with that, I'm like, what I find to be interesting was, here's the thing with tribalism, right? I don't necessarily think tribalism itself is innately bad, because I do think it's a survival instinct that humans have.
Definitely.
I think the way racial tribalism is bad, right? That's a product of white supremacy. Obviously, that's not what I'm talking about. But but finding groups but having community and tribalism, like an idea, like what people you have like similar attributes as, such as ethnicity, language. I think those things are natural, and it is also survival instincts that humans have developed through evolution. So I don't think tribalism itself is innately bad. I think tribalism through white supremacy and racial I think those things are bad, because that is not natural. I do think tribalism to a certain extent is natural in human beings.
Yeah, tribalism to a certain extent is natural. I agree. I think what was supremacist ideologies. That's what I was gonna say. Supremacist ideologies. I think
supremacist tribalism is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad, but tribalism itself is not, because I think it's survival instinct. It's about it is a natural thing to try to preserve your people.
Yeah.
Right. Your ethnicity, your religion, etc. Those things are natural. Those are natural. White supremacy
is not natural. Yeah, exactly. The whole "I'm better than you" thing is not natural. You know what I mean? Because
that's not natural.
Yeah,
but trying to preserve your culture,
your
ethnicity,
that's natural.
Your traditions. No, that is natural. That is natural human evolution.
Definitely.
To protect your the things that you have, like your group, right? Your like it's like the same instinct that you might have, right, to protect your children. Those things are natural.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. I appreciate y'all coming around. Jay, definitely come back on Saturday, because I'm gonna run this again. As a matter of fact, on Saturday, I'm gonna run this, and I'll probably run this as well. I'll run these 2
Oh,
prompts.
you're gonna do both at the same time?
Yeah, I'll probably do them both. I'm gonna add the reparations one to this one, definitely. So I definitely doing both at the same time.
I agree.
See how that looks. That sounds cool. I wonder how that would look.
I would say that would be great. That would be a great idea to do because what you said about the particular things about reparations, a lot of that is included within that, such as war on drugs, universal health care, these things of constantly being stripped away from us. So that'd be great. But I have to work in between. But what time do you usually get on?
I usually get on at around 8 o'clock. Would you be working?
8 o'clock. Okay. I also want to talk about capitalism too, because capitalism is the only thing that's keeping them at bay.
Funny enough, funny enough, the reason, I feel like the reason, that they're so comfortable with, even the white poor people, right, are so comfortable, is because as long as Black people are on the bottom end of things socially and economically, they're perfectly fine with being screwed as long as Black people don't have anything with them.
But I should let you know that these things don't last forever, and the currency is not doing so well. So eventually, the currency would crumble, and so which would prevent them from which will get them to be able to look at themselves, because without currency, what would you be able to participate in society? And they don't have answers.
All right, y'all.
I hope you're here on Saturday so you could bring that up, because I would actually like to hear specifically white people answer that, because I'm interested to hear that. I feel like, to be honest, I feel like Black people will be fine because, well, we
figure it out all the time.
We figure it out, right? That's the thing. That's why, when this whole Trump presidency happened, right? It's not to say that we weren't upset about it or etc. But the thing is that specifically in context to Black Americans in particular, they have already done their worst on Black Americans.
Well, I want to point
when you come from people whose literal children have been fed to alligators, Trump cannot do worse. He cannot.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing for you all. I want you guys to, the Black community, everyone just sit back. Is because what's happening it's inevitable. What I'm saying is that they're breaking the system because said racism, said bigotry has created this whole thing, and what they've put in the White House, such as not just Donald Trump, but the people in positions of power, are just going to just run this system into the ground, and such as even their own currency. So just sit back. Don't be too worried, because I always stated this: it's a white man at the beginning of it, and it's going to be a white man that ends it.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
He's going to end it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And Donald Trump will probably be the last president of the United States, because he's going to drag us into World War III, because Benjamin wants that. He's going to eventually enact a martial law. He's going to eventually do all of these things. It's because because at the end of the day, you guys, what they roll into fascism is because the United States is crumbling. It's falling. And all the leaders outside of the country, I know they keep us all distracted in propaganda and all these types of things, but a lot of the countries are ditching the US dollar, turning away and moving east. And they're going to, and I know about how white people move, they're going to get desperate. They're getting desperate now. They're starting to show their way. How they show up, right? It's going to get worse. And so they're going to show their hand eventually. So don't sweat about it, guys. I understand that these things are happening, but in order for us to be truly free, they have to break their system. When we had Black Wall Street, we had all of that. We were currently under their system. We were currently under their currency. But if they have no currency, because the currency is no longer relevant, they would have to ask themselves, what would they do now? And so that's why fascism is rolling in. But yeah, that's the only way we can be free is completely under the system. And I also want to say this to you guys. I want you guys to really study personality disorders such as sociopathic narcissism and all of these things, because this set system, not only capitalism and racism go hand to hand, but it feeds their narcissism.
Definitely.
It's funny you bring that up because I've often argued, like, how we have had conversations of as Black Americans, surrounding epigenetics and how trauma, right, can travel through the genes. For example, people whose ancestors have been through enslavement and through Jim Crow, like us as Black Americans have, foundational Black Americans. Um, the thing about that is, like, like the trauma, right, spread through epigen. I've often argued that the narcissism that a lot of people have, and the audacity that is also a product of epigenetics. I'm like, because I just don't believe that, like, we just got screwed in the and they did. So
Yeah.
people whose ancestors went through enslavement, babies were used as alligator bait, etc. Like, are suffering from epigenetics, but people who literally used to eat, Black people literally participate in cannibalism, and I'm like, I don't believe in that. That's not good algebra. I think they got something going on.
Yeah, they definitely do. And like in the fact, yeah, definitely the fact that I mean, there was a study recently that showed that white people from all walks of the economic system lack empathy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even poor white people lack empathy. So I don't doubt it at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Actually, can you send that
That's
study
how
to
they
me?
keep.
I would love to see it.
Yeah,
I
sure.
haven't seen it.
But that's one of the things. The reason how they keep the system going is because the lack of humanity and lack of empathy they have, not only for other people but for themselves. And so that's why this set system is still the way it is. But unfortunately, it's old. It's crumbling, and they rather stay in a level of illusion. Is because with narcissism, they have to constantly paint a picture for themselves in order to feel good about themselves. Because if they have to really look at themselves, they won't like it. But that's why I'm telling you guys. It's that what's happening is inevitable. Eventually, eventually the country will fall. Eventually, that the currency will crumble, and so they won't necessarily have anything to offer us. And the question I've always asked them, I asked one particular white tea guy on the panel, and I said to him, I said, "What are you without your PPUs and your currency?" And he said, "Nothing." I know, and vast majority of them are nothing without it. And so
I would ask, with a stand upon, what do you think Black people are, Black Americans specifically are, without those things? And I bet you he cannot say that we're not nothing without those things.
Yeah, we just have a lot of Oh, you about to go? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do gotta go. It's about to be 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I told my wife 9:45, so I'm 15 minutes over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. But I do appreciate y'all. Go ahead and come back. It's not gonna be Saturday or Sunday. I think, baby, when we're going out again, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, right? Yeah, we're going on Saturday. All right, yeah, cool. I'll do it on Sunday. All right, so I'll come back on Sunday. I'll be running out this on prompt again. I'll add the reparations to it so we could have that all set up. And I appreciate you.
On Sunday?
I usually go around 8 o'clock.
Okay, around the same time.
All right, around the same time. Yeah, 8 o'clock. I try to keep it consistent. 8 o'clock, 8:30, around that time.
You're Eastern too. Eastern too. I'm assuming on the side.
Eastern.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
all right,
so we're on EST up here right now.
Yeah, all EST. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and see y'all later. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all night. I love y'all. We smoking on that Hogan pack tonight, y'all. All right, smoking on that Hogan pack. But I do love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all next time. All right.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Okay. Talk to you soon. All right.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching over on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. All right. Peace.